Bye. Hola, 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 mi gente. Me te espera por escucharme, bom? No me hayas ahora mi acaba de video. Pero me quero reveal nos cards lang assim aqui. Anto toch drop in com energy report pa e fim de ano aqui. Anto é motivo para que como escorre pensei, tá passou hora madrinha de collective. Para mim por a download e messages nang gulo ta hoor bij e kaarten nang mi ari para ko ting a lot happening. There is a lot moving in the collective right now. There is a lot. Whew, there's just a lot moving in us. And I wanted to address that as well. So I'm going to do this one in English because I am going to share it on my other platforms as well. So this one is a gift for everybody for the holidays. I'm not a big fan of these holidays, I'm not gonna lie, but nonetheless, still wanted to give you a gift. So one sentence came through very clearly when I stepped in my channel and just scanned a little bit what was happening. And the one thing that came through very clearly is to check your temple and look for who is in it. And first I thought, my temple, because, temple di nada. I thought, are there imposters in my temple? But then I understood it. It has to do with your field, with your energetic field. And it's not only who's in it in the sense of like physical people who are around you, but mostly who are you thinking about constantly? Are there things that are replaying in your mind about the past? And you cannot say no to this question because this is something that everybody is experiencing to a certain degree right now. There's a lot coming up that felt like it actually was already banished to the past, that you were having this feeling of already being done with, and having these things pop up again can be experienced as very annoying. It can be experienced as stressful. And it might also bring up emotions like shame and guilt and resentment. So all of this is happening because there is a lot that we still need to put an end to. I hope you realize that what you're seeing happening in the world right now is not necessarily only chaos. There is a divine order to it. There is a reason why things are happening in that specific order. Because in the end, when we come down to it, the last phase, the wound that we will be healing is separation. And so there is a list of other wounds that are attached to this separation wound, to the original wounding, that are coming up now. And what we're being asked to do is to really, really review how we are using our space. And that translates to every single space, whether it is a space in your body, whether it is a space in your mind, whether it is your home, your job, whether it is the space between you and another. Are there people that you haven't spoken to in a while that you owe a sorry to? You owe letting them know that you now understand where you went wrong and that you just want to make things right. Are there people that you're waiting on to do that same thing for you? So it's a lot about how much we are isolating, how much we are separating ourselves from others. And also there's a lot of around secrets, around what we keep hidden, what we keep in separation, what we keep set apart from what people see, are able to perceive from us. And what's happening in the world right now, to go back to that, is that what you're seeing is that spirit is descending into this dimension. It's inhabiting it. Because descension might give you an idea that spirit is coming from above and landing here. And that's not the case. So we're going with inhabiting. Spirit is slowly inhabiting this dimension, which means that it is going through us. It is first inhabiting our bodies, and through us, it gets to live here, to be here, to be heaven and earth, right? So that means that as spirit descends, as spirit inhabits, nothing that is not spirit can live there anymore. And these things are not necessarily negative things about yourself. Some of them are things that you actually enjoy, that you might actually love. And I've spoken on this before. There are things that you need to let go of that you have never thought were a problem in the first place or would need any type of release. Nonetheless, they are asking for this. And this is the same for people. You might have friends, you might have people around you that are not necessarily causing chaos or problems in your life, but they're just placeholders. You've just kept them there because it feels comfortable, because moving them means moving energy in your environment, and that means that something new might come up. That means that things can shift and change, and you're not comfortable with that. So you use people as placeholders so that you can make sure that if that person is still there, there is a lot in my reality that I don't need to address, that I don't need to look at. It's kind of a way of creating your own blind spot, creating your own loop to make sure that you don't get to the deeper layers, to the things that can feel painful. It's time to stop doing that, because if you don't stop doing that, it will be stopped for you. The energies that would allow for these types of gains within yourself, they're being not only removed, but they're just not able to be generated anymore. So it doesn't matter how well you can lie to yourself or others. You will be confronted with the truth of who you are the moment you have to show how embodied you are, how much that thing that you say you are or can do is actually a part of who you are, or is it just an action, right? That you can undertake. So all of this is happening. Why? It's happening because we're going into a year where things that are dense will get denser first. So do not expect 2025 to be a vacation. Although we haven't been on a vacation since freaking 2019, and some of us even earlier. But it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be a moment of relaxation. It's not going to be a point of release. That's not where we're at, because there's work for us to do. And all of us on this planet right now, and specifically a few of us, have a task in bringing in this new paradigm, this change. And so for us, the pressure is that much more heavier. For us, things like manifestation is happening at warp speed, but also with our negative thoughts. Everything that we feel or think just happens. It's just suddenly there. So we're being asked to be way more focused and intentional with our energy, the ones who are supposed to guide this new paradigm. We are asked to dig deeper, to move into that purity of who we are, to embrace the innocence of being vulnerable, of being an open heart walking around. And all these things sound incredibly crazy and scary, I know. But that is exactly why the only way to navigate this world moving forward, is to understand energy, to understand the very nature of this hologenetic experience. We need to understand how vibration works, how things and thoughts actually are formed. We need to understand how thoughts become things and how things become a reality, and they become a belief system. And then suddenly we are trapped within our own creation. Everything that we're experiencing now, all of the pain, all of the fear, all of the war, all of the violence, we created that. We created it with the very passion, the very fire that we use within ourselves to resist pain, to resist getting to know ourselves on a deeper level. It is a resistance that we use, and when we grab onto philosophies and religions and everything that is outside of us, to give our power to that very thing so that we don't have to be responsible for our power. And so we created this exact world, all of us, exactly as it is now. And I don't care how spiritual you consider yourself to be. You co-created this with all of us, every single one of us. And so we can get mad at it, but we can also look at it and see our power and see how much we are capable of already co-creating and manifesting in this world. So I'm going to do the cards now because the cards are very relevant for what I just spoke on. And then I'm going to end this with a little bit of a snippet of things that I've changed within the community. Again, yes, again. But in my defense, I basically warned everyone from the get-go. You're stepping into a developing space. You're stepping into a space that's being created as I interact with you guys. It is being shaped, it is being readjusted, recalibrated as we move. And so I have no intention of not including you in the whole process, which means that things will shift. They might shift again. But my promise to you is to keep you informed so that you can make your own decision on whether you belong in this space, on whether you want to interact with me in that way or not. All right, the cards. So the first card that we have is this one. Beautiful card. I love the image with the hands and the sacred geometry and the portal, right? So this this card, this one, speaks about soul retrieval. I will put a picture up for you guys because I think this is you're not gonna be able to see it this way. But it's about soul retriever. What I want to tell you about that and about this card, and for those of you who are a little bit more on the logical side of things, I think you can compare soul retrieval to a technique like EMDR in psychology, where you go back and get it. You go back and fix it. You go back and analyze it. You come back and integrate it, however you want to say that. Soul retrieval is the actual technology behind that. So this is something that has been done by curanderos, curanderas, shaman, healers, energy workers since time immemorial. It is not new. There is nothing in this world that is new yet. What is new will be born through us. In order for that to happen, this card specifically, speaks about you going back and looking for the bits and pieces that you left behind in order to protect yourself, in order to be able to survive in this world, in order to lie to yourself or others, or in order for you to suppress something that in that moment was difficult for you to process. So this soul retrieval speaks primarily about you gathering all the breadcrumbs that you've left along the way and move back to your essence, move back to what is truly you. And speaking on this, I want to actually also bring in your dreams. So for the people who picked card number 1, every single dream that you've had in this life, every single thing that you've chased outwardly has been an illusion, a complete lie. And you know this. Let's just get really candid right now, like really real with ourselves. You know that you've been lying to yourself about what it is that you want, about what your ideal life looks like. You know this. Deep inside, you know that what you truly, truly want to do and truly, truly, truly have always dreamed of is so simple. It's so simple that it scares the living shit out of you. It's not having acres of land to steward. It's not having the big company. It's not the perfect relationship. It's not having the kids. It's none of that. Your dream is way more simple than that. And some of us stay away from the simple dream because we've been so conditioned by a society that is so sick of everything that has grandeur, craving to be more than they are, that they absolutely miss the mark of actually understanding that everything that you are is so special, so beyond special, that no acres of land, no CEO vibes, no boss bitchness, none of that can trump that. The liberation and the peace and the freedom that lives in your heart when you actually pursue those simple things is immeasurable. And so you're going to notice that you've been building an illusion around yourself, around what it is that you're doing all of it for. So we bring ourselves back to the why. Why are you actually choosing the things that you're choosing? Are they aligning with who you are? Are they truly the things that you've dreamed of? Or is your dream smaller and simpler, but you steer away from it because you feel that you should have a bigger dream? If you're limitless, if there are no limits, then I can have everything I want, right? So we just grab for the big things. But what if we really tuned into what we really, really want? What if you would really just take a week and just ask that question over and over again from yourself? What is it that I truly want beyond the illusion, beyond the dreams, beyond all of the lies, internal and external? What is it that I want? And where did I leave it behind? When was the moment that I moved away from that simple, beautiful, perfect, divinely guided dream to pursue something that just sounded better? And that is your card. Card number 1. For card number 2, which was this one. Beautiful card too. This card is called the Key of Life. Obviously, these cards are illustrated with the Egyptian pantheon, the Egyptian gods and goddesses. And in this case, the Key of Life is represented by the Ankh right here. And this card speaks of life wanting to be born through you. This card speaks of like everything that you've been resisting, all of that fear, all of that need to protect yourself, all of that need to keep things out has actually kept you locked in. There is a stuckness to your energy. There is a feeling of being locked behind a door and not having that key to be able to fully participate in your own life. It's like almost as if you're on the sidelines and you're looking in and you're thinking, when will I get to play? When will it be my time? Why does it feel like everything that everyone else is doing is absolutely going very terrific, completely well, and my things are not? There's a lot of comparison that comes with this card, but it's not comparison necessarily out of negativity or maliciousness. It's really a comparison that is coming out of deep grief and sadness for things that you might have wanted to live and to experience, but haven't yet had the courage to create and build in your life. This card, the Key of Life, speaks about that key being delivered to you in the coming weeks. It speaks about the breakthrough and insight. It speaks about power moments, moments in which something just comes into your reality and changes everything that you know about yourself forever. This card is one that I actually love a lot for the ones who chose it, because it speaks about not giving up on your creative destiny. In your creative destiny, I don't mean you being an artist or, picking up a new hobby. I mean your creative destiny as a human being. You being able to truly participate in your life as a co-creator, which is actually what ENKRATEIA, which is my 3-day power flow container that's coming in January, is all about. It's about that position as a co-creator of your own life. How do you actually step into that reality? How do you get to participate? How do you move from the sidelines, front and center into the game? And so the Key of Life is something that will be delivered to you. And of all the cards, this is the only one that speaks of something coming in from the outside. It's someone coming to give you a very important message. It's someone coming in to tell you something that might have been a secret. And now that you know it, there's a lot that you can let go of, or you can adjust your opinions and views on something. Either way, this key will unlock, will liberate something that has been trapped and stuck within you for a long time. So expect release, expect liberation, but also be proactive in never locking yourself up and away from life again. That was card number 2. And then card number 3, the Temple of Carnelian. This card speaks of trust. It speaks of courage. It speaks of embodiment. And just a little side note, when we use buzzwords like that, trendy words like that, like embodiment, I love to make very clear what is meant with embodiment. When you are embodied, when something is inside of you, when something is who you are, you don't have to think about it. There is not this whole conversation that needs to happen in your mind where you have to get yourself to do the thing. It's so natural. It's so much a part of you that you actually forgot. You absolutely forget where you learned it, where you got it from, or when it actually got to be a mastery in your life. Embodiment is ease. Embodiment is when the shoulders drop, when you get to relax in the body again, because that integration process, the process of that thing coming into your field and you having to build a relationship with it and get to know it, has passed. And now you're in the phase of knowing that all the work that you did pays off in you being able to respond to life with this new information effortlessly. So when we talk about this card, we talk about embodiment of trust. If you say that you trust something, you also say that you love it, that you feel safe with that thing, whatever it is, whether it's a person, a situation, a thought, a belief system, doesn't matter. The thing about this card, though, that I find a little bit tricky, has a lot of feline energy, by the way, a lot of feline energy, a lot of cat medicine. This card, that trust, it cannot come from you convincing yourself. It needs to be embodied. It needs to be natural. And the trust that I'm speaking about right now is specifically in relation to the universe. It's specifically in relation to the unseen, the unknown, in relation to everything that is not yet established here. It's also in relation to the divine, whatever your relationship might be with the divine, whether it is a God in the sky, whether it is a God in your heart, whether it's a goddess, whether it's a plethora of gods and goddesses, whether it's nature, whether it's the ocean, it doesn't matter. This card speaks on why are you not capable yet to trust the unseen? What is actually standing in your way from being able to fully trust that you are safe, that you are whole, that you are powerful, and move on that? So there's a lot of things happening in our world, and there's a lot of people staying quiet. A lot of people with opinions, a lot of people with really good ideas on how to solve a lot of our heartaches, but they are not speaking. Those people, they're not sheep. They're not the people who are asleep. They are the people who are awake, the people who are here listening to this, the people who are capable of shifting this paradigm, but are staying quiet because they haven't worked yet on trusting the divine, on trusting the unknown so fully, so completely, that fear of what is to come can also drop. So if you've been working with people, if you've been dibble-dabbling in your spiritual journey, but you still find it difficult to feel ease in your body when you think about the world, when you think about where we're going, when you think about the future of humanity, there's something that you can do, some work that you can do around your peace with trust of your divinity and with trusting the unknown. Anything else I wanted to say to you about this card for the ones who picked this? Yes. When you work on trust, when you build a relationship of trust with anything, it is going to come with discomfort because you're going to have to shift identities. So if you are someone who considers yourself to have a very strong knowingness of who you are, and you pick this card, it's time to remember that you actually don't know who the fuck you are ever. That's the whole beauty of this healing journey and this spiritual whatnot. Once you can actually allow yourself to get to that truth, that you actually never fully will know who you are in this body, and that's the beauty of this whole experience of being human, then you will know everything that you need to know in every instant. I know, a paradox, right? So there is this discomfort that comes with having to let go of that identity. But the discomfort actually comes from having to understand and believe that something that you previously absolutely were against is now something that you're entertaining. It's now something that might be true after all for you. I'm here to tell you, if you pick this card, that you've always had permission to shift and change, no matter how strongly you feel about and have felt about something, or have expressed your feelings about something, right? So to give you an example, if in 2020 you were the first one to walk around and tell everybody how that jabby jab was a bad idea and that there's nanoparticles in it and that there's this old alien agenda, and you were out there defending your conspiracy theories, it is okay if now you found a deeper truth and there's something behind all of that that you've discovered that you actually would love to express as well. You're allowed to change your mind. Even if you did say something in a very public way, in a very strong fashion, you are still allowed to say, I do not believe this anymore. My new belief or my new realization, my new revelation is this, that, or the other. Don't let anything or anybody trap you into this notion that this life only has one choice that is good and everything else is not good enough. That does not exist. All right. So those are the cards that I had for you. And actually, I feel that all the messages that came through with the cards are relevant and beautiful for any and everyone who's watching this. So you can take something from every one of those cards. You can use them even as me telling you something about the first card, your past, the second card, your present, and the third card, your future. So you can even use all the cards as a full and complete reading for you for the last few weeks of December as we move slowly into the next month. I think I'm going to close it here, and I'm just going to record a different video about the changes that I'm going to make in the community, to drop in the community, just not to make this too long and to make it fun to watch because of it not taking up all of the space in your life, but also leaving you with the following. Please do not be afraid. There is a lot coming, and I've told you this in the transmission on the 19th of November. There is a lot coming, and most of it will be at its peak around February. And it will continue to escalate from that point until we, the people, wake the fuck up and say, no, not on my watch. I do not support this. Not with my eyes, not with my ears, not with my mouth, not with my thoughts, not with my energy, not with my pain, not with my pleasure, not with any single cell within my body. I do not support separation between me and my brothers and sisters on this planet. I do not support any force, person, institution that is working hard on making sure that I do not see myself in every heart that I encounter. And my rebellion will be to see that anyways, to embrace every person that I meet, even though I might want to punch them in the face, to embrace the fact that if they are in my reality, they are here to show me where inside of me I am still not pure in my intention, pure in my energy, and pure in my actions. So there you go. That's your message for the rest of this month. And I will be sharing the new dates for ENKRATEIA. And I invite you to come into that space where we actually really, really reimagine and completely redefine a lot of spiritual concepts. And why is that important? Because when you're finished with that redefinition, you're going to notice that it becomes a lot easier for you to integrate, for you to embody these concepts, that you haven't been able to do that yet because you're either missing information, you're misinformed, or someone has been gatekeeping this from the beginning of time. So to make you hella confused when you step into your healing journey and keep wondering, why are things repeating? So a lot of it is not having the right information, right instructions on how to work with certain bigger spiritual concepts. And in those 3 days in ENKRATEIA, we always go really deep with those, and we actually rewire you on all those levels. And it's also a space in which you get from me, the only space that you get from me, energetic healing as well. So it's not only a beautiful reset of everything that's in your mind, a beautiful reset of everything that has been weighing on your heart, but it's also a complete energetic tune-up. And that is something that I only do in that space, in that way, unless you're working with me one-on-one in my personal, very close contact containers. Peace out. And I hope you enjoyed this. Hopi amor, mi gente. Estimamos ng boshi. De mi corazón. Pa vos al corazón. Nos vemos.